Yo, good evening, good afternoon. It is Thursday, May 18th, 2023. We are back for I'm Not Gonna Hold You. It's your boy Scott. You know to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Barberchat Scott. Follow HNB Media at HNB Media TV on Twitter and at HNB Media on Instagram. Follow the Barberchat Network at Barberchat Net on Twitter and IG. Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barberchat Network. We got a whole bunch of new content up this week that we dropped, so check all of that out. And of course, keep visiting the VCnet.com, man. We are back. Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals kicked off in about an hour and a half here. The Nuggets up 1-0 up on the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers are going to try to bounce back. We're going to discuss that later in the show. I will also be talking about game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, which went down last night in Boston with Miami Heat taking a 1-0 series lead. A lot of stuff to get into today, so I'm looking forward to talking about that. But we're going to start with my sound off, man. My sound off. I'm not gonna, stay on this topic too long because I kind of feel like we're beating a dead horse now. With all this conversation that's been going on since the weekend, really just in sports media in general this week. I've even talked about this topic twice already this week on Ball Don't Lie, on, Summer Sessions, and kind of tired of talking about this, but, some people might have not heard what I said, so we're just going to talk about it one more time. So, unless you've been living under a rock, you know that Mr. Ja Morant is in trouble once again. He has been suspended by the NBA again. He got fired his day off pretty much because he can't go to training facilities. He can't even do anything of any type of all-season programs with the Memphis Grizzlies. And as we await to see when his ultimate suspension will be for next season, Adam Silver, when he was at the draft lottery this week in Chicago, by the way, fuck you, Adam Silver, for giving that to the San Antonio Spurs. I see what you're doing. Well, come on, man. Stop it. Said that he was shocked. He was shocked about what Ja Morant do. So I expect that the hammer is going to be dropped on Mr. Morant very soon. He put out an apology like a day or two ago, but we found out it was kind of like copied and pasted from another website, which is an even worse look now because we know the first apology was bullshit. And still nothing from Powerade, but his shoe is not on the Nike website right now, according to TMZ Sports. So you got that little nugget right there that's already going to be added on top of the losses right now for Ja Morant. Of course, we already know he lost about $40 million this year as it is because of the suspension. He missed out on necessary games, which will allow him to be on an all-NBA team. So this is my thing on Ja Morant. Now, last time we talked about this, which wasn't even 2 months ago now, I kind of took more of a, I won't say a softer approach, but I didn't go as hard. I'm just going to cut straight to the point this time, man. He's stupid as fuck. I mean, I see everybody, not everybody, but some people on social media, he's a kid, he's 23. Yeah, he's a kid. At 23, you're not a grown man. You are, but you ain't. And he's way more closer to high school than he is, say, 30, So you have to put that into account here. But you only get so many times to fuck around. And I think that we stop babying him, and it's time for him to suffer consequences. Now, I've seen a lot of other conversations that say, oh, he didn't do any illegal. You can carry guns in Tennessee. Or bringing up different people who are involved in school shootings or, people who have these guns. Well, if he was a white person, why would he wouldn't get away with it? Sometimes we got to stop just blaming other shit when it just comes down to people who are doing dumb things. Before I said that I don't think he's a stupid person, this is proof that you're doing some stupid shit. Now, I don't know what exactly is going on. I personally think it's a drinking problem. There's no other way to describe this. Like, I don't think he is like a super dummy. But he's doing a lot of dumb stuff. Now he's got to suffer the consequences, and people got to stop giving this man excuses. And it's just time to cut the shit. It is what it is. You're doing dumb shit, and now you're going to suffer it. It might be 40 games. I don't know if I don't really know what exactly the punishment is going to be. I do think at the bare minimum is going to be 25 to 30 games. And you have to understand that you just can't be showing guns on social media. Everybody's blaming his friends. You can't blame the friends. Blame him. Even if you look at the video, his homeboy's putting the phone down. Look at him like, yo, you fucking tripping right now. Like, what are you doing? Like, there's got to be some accountability from himself. There's got to be him wanting it for himself. I even said on here when we talked about the first time that he should go holler at Allen Iverson. Well, if he's not listening to his own damn daddy, if his daddy's even telling him anything to fucking begin with, who knows? He's not gonna listen to him. So he's got to be able to want it for himself to be able to move forward. If not, he's going to be here today and gone tomorrow. It's just that damn simple. I don't obviously the Grizzlies. I don't think the Grizzlies gonna go away with him, but his sponsorships are going away. Now, I know he's a young kid, but you're responsible for not just yourself, but the people that you employ, your family. You are the first person in your family with generational wealth. You're dealing with millions and millions of dollars over stupid shit when we just saw you do it not even 2 months ago, man. So I just think people need to stop giving so many excuses for him. He did what he did, and now he's got to suffer the consequences. It's just that damn simple. I don't think there's any suspension out there that I will qualify or deem as too much because of the repeat offense. He obviously doesn't give a fuck if he continues to do it. The little bullshit interview he did with Jalen Rose doesn't matter. Going to a little fake rehab center doesn't matter because he doesn't care. Stop giving him a break. That's all I got to say about that, man. Let's get into the Eastern Conference Finals. These conference finals kicked off last night in Boston. Miami Heat won that game 123-116. Jimmy G Buckets led the way once again. 35 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 6 steals. In fact, Jimmy Butler is only the third player in NBA history with multiple games of 35 points. Now, this is a little bit of an ESPN stat, but whatever. 35 points, 5+ rebounds, 5+ assists, and 5+ steals. Michael Jordan did it 7 times, and Jimmy Butler and Allen Iverson have both done it twice, man. And Bam Adebayo, big game, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. More majority of this was in the second half. Didn't have the best of halves in the first half. It was down in the second half, made Robert Williams look like a non-factor, and that really kind of helped him come back from when they was down as much as 13 points in the third quarter. I think right now, and also something else, I mean, we got 15. The others, man, they had 60 points off the bench between 4 players. 15 points for Max Strus, 15 points for Gabe Vincent, 15 points for Martin. I got his name is escaping me right now. 15 points for Kyle Lowry. These guys right here are hitting threes and they're helping the team out tremendously. And this is really something we got to stop questioning the Miami Heat. Like I tweeted last night, I'm done trying to actually mentally explain what the Heat are doing because of how their regular season went. Not only just how their regular season went, but losing the first play-in game and was losing the second play-in game to the Bulls when DeMar DeRozan decided, maybe I should go 1-on-5 for the rest of the damn game. To go from that to knocking out the number 1 seed in basketball, to knocking out the Knicks team who I had beaten them and a lot of people had beaten them, to now being 1-0 on the team that was one of the favorites in the entire NBA to win the NBA championship, especially after the Milwaukee Bucks got eliminated. And I think at this point, we just got to accept it for what it is. This is a great team. And this is not they're AFC, but this is not your typical AFC. And you're just really seeing I know people are tired of the Heat culture thing. I understand why people get tired of it. But Eric Spoelstra is a legendary all-time coach. Pat Riley is a legendary all-time, not only coach, but more now in this specific situation, front office guy. And all the different places that people that they brought in, a lot of undrafted people that they brought in, a lot of lower draft picks, guys who weren't shit on other teams contributing here. But the story is they are taking on the persona of their leader, Jimmy Butler. Now, I said 6 years ago in a Ballast Point Brewery in Long Beach, California, during the 2017 draft, when my Chicago Bulls traded Jimmy Butler for Lauri Markkanen, who is now an all-star, which, of course, is Bulls luck, Chris Dunn, who is now an employee at Menards, and Zach LaVine. I love Zach. I like Zach. He's not what I thought he would be. I don't think he's ever going to reach the potential of what he can be. And ever since Jimmy Butler has gone on, he has been making the conference finals every time he's been on the Miami Heat. He took the Minnesota Timberwolves to the playoffs for the first time since 2004. He was so dangerously close to getting the Philadelphia 76ers, not just to the Eastern Conference Finals, maybe even further than that. Kawhi didn't hit one of the greatest shots of all time. And then they let him walk out the door and re-sign Tobias Harris. And we all see how that's going on. And he has been in the Eastern Conference Finals every year since he's had that Miami Heat uniform on. To me, it's one of the dumbest moves in Bulls history, but I'm not going to talk about that all damn day. But Jimmy Butler is the guy. Jimmy Butler is a superstar. Jimmy Butler is one of those fourth quarter guys in the playoffs that he just increases his play when the playoffs start, he's averaging 10 more points than he did in the regular season. And this is where we need to stop doubting this team. I said this on Ball Don't Lie this year. The Miami Heat, if you want to tell the story of the NBA since the new millennium hit, you really only talking about 4 franchises. It's the Los Angeles Lakers, it's the San Antonio Spurs, the Golden State Warriors, and the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat are what people want you to think the Boston Celtics currently are. The Boston Celtics get away with a lot of what they did back in the day. Since I've been on this earth, which has been 34 years, will be 35 this year, they have won 1 championship in that time. 1. And we treat them like they're the prior other 3 teams who won multiple championships in them. The Lakers have a chance to win their 7th NBA championship since the year 2000. The Spurs have won 5. The Warriors have won 4. And the Heat right now on the verge of trying to win their 4th. Those are really the standard bearers of this new millennium, this new century. And we got to give all that credit to Pat Riley from coming over here from New York and it's completely changing everything. From bringing on LeBron, drafting Dwayne Wade, and then being able to rebuild again by getting Jimmy Butler. So we just got to stop questioning the Heat. When I say we, I mean me too, because I picked Boston in the series. I said Boston to 7, and I'm not going to back up off that pick either. I probably even Miami Heat, if they win the NBA championship this year, is probably not because I'm going to pick them. Just because if we're going off talent, I still think the other 3 teams involved are more talented than the Miami Heat. But talent don't always matter if you're playing as hard and as well coached as this team is, man. They have not been down in a series yet in this NBA playoffs. There's been no panic from Miami Heat fans. And the one thing I kind of love, and I used to hate Miami Heat fans a lot back in the Heatles day, but Heat fans really don't care because they playing with house money and they're going up against franchises that fan bases who live and die with them and care so much. And Heat fans like, we don't give a fuck. We the AFC. We gonna show up at halftime. We gonna not really care about the games. Our team is still winning. And what a hell of a time for Miami sports too, with the Florida Panthers also being in the Eastern Conference Finals in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, man. So Heat are for real, and I think they have just a legitimate shot to win the NBA championship as any of these 3 other teams. Now we go over to the team that has probably pissed me off the most this postseason, and that would be the Boston Celtics, who lost last night. You had Jason Tatum had 30 points, 7 rebounds. Looked like it was a good game, but he had 0 shot attempts in the 4th quarter. 0 shot attempts. If it was 0, he didn't make a shot, that's one thing. This is 0 attempts, and this is coming off a very inconsistent series against the Philadelphia 76ers, where up until Game 7, that was the first in Game 7, that was the first quarter field goal he had made since Game 3 of that series. He has not been the Jason Tatum that a lot of y'all think he is, which I've been one of the few saying that he wasn't. And that's been showing his ugly head once again in this series. Jaylen Brown only 22 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, but he also non-existent in the 4th quarter. This team has just not been having the consistency that they had last year. And I think the biggest thing here is last year, their offense wasn't as good as people thought it was. They were just playing god-tier defense and being coached by a better coach than Ime Udoka, who was better than Joe Mazzulla. And that just helped them a lot more than this. They kind of felt like they had more of a urgency to actually play. You know what I'm saying? More of a killer streak in them. This one doesn't have that whatsoever. They play like the Golden State Warriors without the rings. The Golden State Warriors are the most fuck around and find out team in the NBA, but they have the rings and the championship experience to back up why they play that way, no matter how annoying that it might be. But they can't do that. There's absolutely no excuses for them not to at least make the NBA Finals with the way everything has fell down in their favor. And the home record is just crazy. They've got an under 500 home record in the NBA playoffs over the last 3 seasons. That's not even really a home court advantage to them right now. And I said this a couple months, probably like January, February, where I said I was worried about the Celtics coming to the playoffs because you have a rookie coach who's inexperienced and hasn't been in these situations like Joe Mazzulla. We've seen that time and time again in his playoffs, the way he uses his timeouts and just other stupid things he does. You know, he tried to show a little fake emotion with the little clipboard in this game. Nobody's falling for this shit. But the 2 egregious things he said after the game. Number one, saying that he watches the town 4 times a week. Okay, I like the town too, but cut the shit. You're just trying to be an ultimate Boston nigga, but you just gotta stop it. Nobody believes you. If you are, why? Like, what are you proving to anybody but watching the fucking town 4 times a week? But then the most asinine comment I've heard a coach say in a long time when he said, "Well, we were prepared. We won 3 out of the 4 quarters." Yeah, you won 3 quarters except for the one that really fucking mattered. Like, what kind of loser shit is that? So they've got so many problems on this team, and they're going up against the wrong team to have those problems. And this is why Celtic fans were rooting for the Atlanta Hawks and rooting for the Chicago Bulls in those play-in games, so they wouldn't have to play this team in the first round because of what happened last year. And now we're right back in the same situation, literally in the same situation. Only difference is the Celtics have home court now, but the Heat went in there and won game 1 last year, and they're in the same position. And I feel that the danger zone should be on. The danger zone should be on for Boston because Miami's going to come in there tomorrow hungry. And they're going to want to go to South Beach up 2-0. So they've got to make some changes here. I need to see more aggressiveness. Like, shots come and shots go. But I got to see more urgency from Jason Tatum. If you're going to be getting fucking billboards in the middle of Times Square, you're doing all these commercials. Every time I cut on the NBA game, I see him in like a Ruffles commercial or whatever else he's doing. You got to start doing what superstars do, and that's at least show urgency, play defense, do what you can to help your team to win this game. And I did not see that last night. And Jaylen Brown, you need to be more aggressive too. If Jason's on that bullshit, you need to take advantage and do what you do. No more of waiting for the ball to come to you. If he's on some other shit, you take the ball. So I just need to see more consistency for these teams because if they don't win the NBA championship this year, trust and believe there's going to be some major changes in Boston. We already got Jaylen Brown, who does not want to be there, obviously. I believe there's going to be some moves for the front office to make because at this point, is it going to work or not? This core has been together for a couple years now. And this is supposed to be that they break through. They went through the final last year. They took the loss. Everybody says you got to take on the road to the top. You took one to the chin, the best team in the decade, and you had a great regular season for the most part. Ended the regular season on some bullshit, and now you're doing the same thing. And so it's danger time for the Miami Heat, and not for Miami, for the Boston Celtics. They need to get their shit together, man. It will be down 2-0 if they play around tomorrow night. Let's get to the West Coast, man. Like I said, game 2 is tonight at Ball Arena in Denver. Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets looking to take a commanding 2-0 series lead before heading to downtown Los Angeles this weekend for games 3 and 4. Game 4 will be on Monday. The Lakers, man, I feel like on Tuesday, you never want to lose playoff games, obviously. But I really feel like they found something in that game. Now, I do believe the found something narrative has been a little bit OD this week because they found something, yes, that can help them, but they still lost the fucking game. And this is a game where they were down 22 points in the third quarter. Looked like it was going to get real dark, but the Nuggets took their hands off the wheel and allowed them to get back in the game to the point it was a one-possession game with like under 2 minutes left in the game. So they had some things, but I think also the adjustments that they can make. And if you look at how they played offensively, they didn't really play a bad game offensively. This is all defensively. Anthony Davis had a great game, 40 points, 10 rebounds, which if we go by the AD scale, that means he's on pace for 17 points and 5 rebounds today if we do it the way he's been doing it all postseason. LeBron James had an incredible game, almost a triple-double, 26 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists. Austin Reeves, man, this kid here, Austin Reeves is the epitome of a guy who probably annoys the shit out of you if he's not on your team. But if he's on your team, you love him to death. This kid is a hooper. He can play defense. He can run point guard. He had 23 points, 8 assists. It's like he's automatic from 3. And you just love everything, especially a story of how he came just to be in the Lakers rotation. And now he's a major part of this Lakers team. And Rui Hachimura, big game off the bench, 17 points, and played really good defense on Jokic on those 6 possessions late in the game. We kind of got Jokic out of whack a little bit and was able to help the Lakers come back into this game. So I know everybody's talking about that's going to be the major adjustment. You start the game with Rui Hachimura starting and being on Jokic. And I 100% agree. I tweeted that right after the game. I think that's going to be something that can help. But the thing here, everybody's talking about the adjustments that the Lakers can make. It's a 2-team game. Mike Malone is a good coach. This is a real good defensive squad. The Nuggets can make adjustments. The best big man in the NBA right now, Nikola Jokic, is going to make adjustments. And I do think that Rui can help. But those were also only 6 possessions. If you think you're going to have Rui on Jokic all game and it's going to work well for you, you're going to fuck around and find out. It's actually part of the adjustment, but that shouldn't be the whole adjustment. And Jokic is going to find a way to be able to get out of that because that's just what great players are doing. And one other thing I saw was, they're not going to shoot like that again. Yeah, they shot some miracle shots, but this is just a tough shot hitting team. They have the best shooting team left in the NBA playoffs. They can 100% shoot like that. KCP has been having a great postseason all year. Jamal Murray has been looking incredible. He's been looking like the bubble version. I know he probably gets sick of that because maybe that's just who he is now if you take away the years that he was hurt from the injury. Michael Porter Jr. was big off the bench. They're going to need that. AD and Jokic are going to cancel each other out. That's just how it's going to be. This is, Anthony Davis is a great defender. When he's on point, he's at worst top 2, top 3 best defender in the NBA. But we know he likes to take possessions out. No matter how great defense he can play, Jokic is still going to get his. I'll give Jokic this. Jokic tries to play defense. It just doesn't go well. So AD is going to get his too. I think the number one thing that's kind of been lost in breaking down this series is we keep hearing comparisons to the bubble. Well, they shut Jokic down in the bubble. It's 2 things you miss here. Number one, that was Jokic before he became a 2-time MVP. But the main important thing is the Lakers had bodies in 2020. I'm getting tired of the Dwight Howard erasure from history. First of all, the fact he's not a top 75 player is bullshit. There was a point in time in this world where the top 2 players on earth were LeBron James and Dwight Howard. I know a lot of y'all forget that, but it is. He played excellent defense on Jokic in the bubble. JaVale McGee played excellent defense on Nikola Jokic in the bubble. And so did Anthony Davis. So they had a rotation of bigs to help him down. They don't have that here this time. So those 2 are going to cancel each other out. It's about which others are going to stand up and how great can LeBron James be on a nightly basis. And this isn't I don't even think he's an old thing. I think that's a small part of it. I really think LeBron's foot is still cooked. Remember, he rushed himself back at the end of the season to be back for the playoffs. I still don't think that. I know that foot isn't 100%. I'm pretty sure as soon as the season's over, when they win a championship or they get eliminated, we're going to get news that he's going to have foot surgery. That's just what it is. So it's going to be which bench is going to show up and can LeBron be LeBron on most nights. That's going to be the deciding factor in this series. Now, I can see the Nuggets winning tonight. I could, but I'm going to pick the Lakers to win tonight. Just because if I had $1 for every time that I've seen a LeBron James team lose game 1 of either the conference finals or the NBA finals and win the next game, I'd be a fucking millionaire and I wouldn't be sitting up here talking to y'all right now. I'm just pretty sure that's going to happen. You don't want to go down 0-2, even if you are going home for 2 games. And even though you are undefeated at the crib, the playoffs, and in the play, you don't want to be in a situation on a team this fucking good. But I think it's going to be a battle. I don't think LA's going to come here and just smack them up. This team's undefeated at home. And I think it's the biggest thing. I've been saying it. I really wanted, when I did the playoff prediction, I said this on here, I said this on Ball. I really wanted to pick the Nuggets to win the whole thing, but I had to kind of see it first. I think this team is ready. I think it's going to be a long series. I think that this is probably going to go the distance. And then that's really where it's going to show the fortitude of being able to knock off LeBron James. And LeBron James, who was in his 11th conference final, and his only, is his 12th conference finals? I think it's 12th conference finals. Yeah, because he only lost 1, and he's been in 10 finals. Yeah, so this is 12th conference final. He's only lost 1 conference final. This is just what he does. And so I just think this team is ready. I think they're going to win this game, the series of 7 games, and I think they're going to win the whole damn thing. But tonight is a big game for both teams. I really feel like Denver wants to take a nice little hold before they head to LA. But I'm going to pick the Lakers tonight. I think they find a way to win this one. I think LeBron James is huge. And I don't think that Anthony Davis will put up a stake tonight. I'm going to believe in you tonight, AD. I think AD is going to get it done. It's going to be a very close game. The Lakers will be heading 1-1 to Staples. But my next thing is more about Jokic, man. It's the amount of disrespect that I've seen on social media, in national media, when it comes to covering Nikola Jokic. This last week before the conference finals started was nasty. People thought that AD was just going to body him and that he was just going to be out here averaging like 14 points a game, which was like ridiculous. Really just entire season with the nastiest MVP debate I've ever seen in my life. Like people were acting, some people like Kendrick Perkins, like, oh, if he wins the MVP 3 years in a row, it's disrespectful to the game. He's just getting it for because he's white. Like, there's so many people who looked at this game and it was like, I kind of felt like it was an introduction to Jokic for people who don't really watch basketball. And it's like, he does this shit every night. He just came off a 53-point game in the closeout game on the Suns where he had 11 assists too. This is just who Jokic is. I love Luka. We all love Luka. He's a 7-foot Luka, but at least he tries on defense and he don't be bitching to the refs every time like Luka did. This is the guy right here, generational big. And if he wins this NBA championship, a lot of y'all got to shut the fuck up. We're going to look at the all-time debates of big men when we look at this because of the legendary stuff this man is doing. And the last couple of years, everybody, well, what has he done in the playoffs? He ain't had his guys. This is the first time he had his guys since the bubble. And let's be, that bubble team wasn't that damn good. They came back for 3-1 twice. They just playing against teams who didn't have a killer instinct, like the fucking Clippers. This is a much different team, a much better team. I feel like it's ready for the moment. And a lot of y'all gonna owe Jokic an apology when all of this shit goes down. And I don't think the Lakers have been giving him prime respect. LeBron has been in so many of these battles. Even Anthony Davis. My favorite shot from game one is when Jokic hit that bailout three at the end of the first half. And AD just looked at him like I played great defense. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that, man? So I think we just need. I think one thing about this debate culture, this social media culture, is we don't really live in the moment and appreciate the grace that we watching. I'm not saying you got to be fans of all these people. I'm not a LeBron James fan, but I got eyes, nigga. I know he's, in my opinion, the second best player on earth to ever play this game. And if he wins the NBA championship this year, as much as I love Michael Jordan, there's going to be a thicker conversation. You got to acknowledge what you're watching right now. Everybody too busy debating Steph and LeBron. We just saw two of the all-time greats probably battle maybe for the last time in the playoffs. Appreciate what you're seeing right now from Nikola Jokic, man. That's all I'm saying about that. Speaking of Steph Curry, we're going to talk about the Golden State Warriors. As when we were on the air last week, we were getting ready for Game 6, the day before Game 6. And I did say that I don't remember who I picked last week. It's been a long ass week. But they got eliminated last Friday in blowout fashion at that. The question now is, what's next for the Warriors? Is the dynasty over? I'm not going to say that the Warriors are, as an organization, are done winning championships, but this era, this core, I believe is done. We've got Draymond Green, who's got a player option coming up. We don't know what's going to happen with Clay. That's looking like bad money right now. Jordan Poole's contract is looking really, really fucking bad right now. And now we get the rumors right now that Bob Myers might be leaving as general manager. There have been no contract extension talks between him and Warriors ownership. This is the guy who crafted this team. He did everything but draft Steph Curry, which happened in the old regime. So there's a lot of changes that could happen for the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry is 35. But when you can shoot as well as he can, I still believe he's got a lot more years left. And I believe he's playing the best basketball of his career, even better than 2015 and 2016 when he was back-to-back league MVP. I do think that there's going to be a major change with the core. I know everybody's just assuming that Draymond's going to leave, and he might. But we just know how important Draymond is. I mean, Steve Kerr knows how important Draymond is. He said it in the season exit press conference. We said we're not championship contenders without Draymond Green. It's that damn simple. That's why Draymond gets away with the shit that he gets away with, because he is a bona fide. He is skipping to Springfield when he is eligible for the Hall of Fame. He's one of the best defenders in the NBA. He helps facilitate this offense. That's just who he is. That's why he talks all the shit he does. I think they're going to, honestly, and I would do this too. And I know you're probably going to pay Draymond a lot more than he probably needs to be getting paid this point in his career, but he's just way too important with the team. As big of a dickhead that Jordan Head's shot selection is, he's still a young guy. And I'm not going to just kill him for one bad season when everybody said it was an amazing signing last summer when he got signed. Everybody said it was great. It's the next future of the Warriors. You just adding somebody to the Splash Brothers family. I'm not going to quit on a dude after 1 year, especially after the year that he went through a lot. As we forget, he got punched in his fucking shit, and they had to play with this dude all fucking year. Now, they all said, oh, it's not a distraction. It's not a distraction. And then Draymond, as much as I love Draymond, have you no shame, sir? Have you no shame? What he's on this podcast this week, oh, yeah, I feel like if I didn't punch him, we'd have still been. That's some bullshit. It's a cop-out, because if y'all would have beat the Lakers and y'all would have won number 5, the whole expression would have been, well, it brought us tighter. It brought us together. And I'm not saying that you don't address that was a problem. It might have. It probably was a problem, but you don't say that shit. That's some shit you say later on, maybe after the season was over or maybe 5 years later. Like, that's just some cop-out shit to me from Draymond. But I don't think you give up on him. And right now, he's kind of untradeable. As bad as Clay has been, or up and down, as bad as Clay was in the playoffs, and as up and down as Clay was in this season, there's somebody who will take Clay. Somebody will take Clay as big as that contract is. I think that they would. I think that they will, and I think they probably should trade Clay Thompson, see what you can get. Resign Draymond. You got Andrew Wiggins, who you got to give it to Andrew Wiggins after missing 2 full months of basketball to come in and play the way that he played in this postseason, and then he getting injured in the series against the Lakers and still playing well. You got to give it to him. That's another guy you keep right here. And you still got Steph Curry. As long as you got Steph Curry and you got Steve Kerr, you have an opportunity. Now, that doesn't mean they will, but there's a way for them to move around this. And you have an ownership group who don't give a fuck about spending money. It's an ownership group who is paying the second largest, not even second largest, the largest luxury tax bill in NBA history. So they have that in their pockets. So I do think this current era is over, and it was a hell of a run for them. 4 championships in 8 years. I mean, that's just something, especially in this era of player movement, is incredible. 1 injury away from actually being the first team to three-peat in 20 years, which I don't think we're going to see three-peat maybe ever again. It was already hard to do in other eras. I know the Bulls and Michael Jordan made it like it was easy because they did it twice, but it's been 21 years, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. But this version of the Warriors, I feel like it's done, but there is a path here for them to still be in contention for NBA championships going forward. There has been a lot of movement in the NBA this last 2 weeks. A lot of coach movement, I think, and a lot of good coaches too. A lot of coaches who won a lot over these last couple of years. If you look at the NBA Finals from just 2 years ago, both those coaches who were in there, Mike Budenholzer and now Monty Williams, are now on the unemployment list. I think this is going to be a major summer of a lot of movement. I think there's going to be a lot of people trying to get their cap in order. I think there's going to be a lot of people jockeying for some of these draft picks, especially when Portland said they're trying to move the number 3 pick. I think we've already seen all these big name coaches get fired already as the season isn't even over. It's going to be I feel like a big makeover in the NBA this offseason. And with these coaches, there's been debates about, he shouldn't have got fired. We all like Monty Williams, man. We got to stop acting like the Suns fired Eric Spoelstra. Like, you can't blow a 2-0 lead in the NBA Finals. Then the next year you have the best record in basketball, up 2-0, and you lose at home in a Game 7 by 30. They were down 37 at halftime to a team they had no business losing to. Then followed up the next year by doing the same damn shit again by losing by 30 at home. Granted, the Nuggets are a better team, but you can allow that shit and think you're going to keep your job, especially with new ownership, especially when you got a new franchise player in Kevin Durant who he feels like he needs to win now. He doesn't have that many years left. I mean, shit, if you're watching KD play this shit, you watch his playoffs, KD than he used to be. It's really just that obvious, and he wants to hop on it while he can. He wants to be able to try to sneak another ring in like Steph Curry did last year, like LeBron is trying to do right now. There's no room for error right now. This is a result-driven business. Honestly, Mike Budenholzer, that championship stopped him from getting fired early. He probably should have. And this is a guy who I believe is not that good of a coach, but had Giannis bail him out in that season. So you knew he was going to go. Doc Rivers. I don't even know what to say about Glenn anymore, to be completely honest. Dude to Stephen A. Nice guy. I met Doc Rivers. Real cool dude. Sat down in the airport. We talked Bears football for about 30 minutes while we waited for our flight to the crib. Cool guy. But he's one of the most overrated coaches of all time. That entire Boston Celtic team just gets way too much credit for everything. And we're seeing that right now. He has the worst record in Game 7s ever. And he gets fired after 3 years in Philadelphia. And now we had a lot of people saying that James Harden might have had something to do with it. And the Sixers got rid of him so they can have a chance to sign James Harden. And by the way, I will get to James Harden and that MVP in just a minute. But this is something we're seeing in the era in the NBA where the room for error is very small, very small. You're not allowed to fuck up the way you used to. Even the most successful coaches are getting out of here. And I think that this is something where teams just tired of losing. They're tired of taking all these different chances and losing, spending all this money, making these big trades, giving all these free agents all this money and not being able to win. So I'm not shocked by any of these moves. And I do think that all these coaches will find new jobs. Nick Nurse will find a job. I feel like he might go to Milwaukee. There's opportunity here for these coaches to get back. But let's stop acting like these dudes, especially Monty Williams, are fired for just nothing. So that's what I got to say about that. We're going to wrap this up, man. Of course, the episodes are shorter, man. There's not too many games now. We're done with NBA doubleheaders until next season. So we've only got 2 series in about 10 days, something like that. We only have 1 series to talk about, man. So we're going to wrap this up. My Goofy Mog of the week. We're going to give a double Goofy Mog of the week to the 2 superstars of the Philadelphia 76ers. I once said that I was envious of Philadelphia sports because they went to the World Series and they had a number 1 team in football at the time. I take that back. If my teams lost the World Series, lost the Super Bowl, then had the MVP and one of the best records in the NBA, and lost in a playoff series against one of our hated rivals, and also the series, the Sixers had no business losing after the way Jason Tatum was playing in games 3 through 6. And that's how game 6 went. They had a double-digit lead with a couple minutes left. And they just completely left got their hands off the wheel, and we saw what happened. I'm giving them Goofy Mog of the week, not because of their performances. What more Embiid is one. This is just what James Harden does. James Harden is a generational choke artist. At this point, James Harden is Super Bowl, it's March Madness, it's Groundhog Day, it's motherfucking James Harden fucking up in the playoffs. That's just how schedules go now. But for y'all two to go to that podium, throw y'all teammates under the bus after the bullshit performances you had in the biggest game of the season, trying to lead this team to their first conference finals in 22 years, and Joel Embiid got the nerve to fix his lips and say, we can't win it by himself. Well, motherfucker, y'all could have won a period if you wasn't playing like a bitch in the paint. You need to get your big ass in the paint. Stop shooting those little 3-pointers trying to be finesse, moving around like you Allen Iverson in the paint, falling all damn clumsy. If you're the MVP, you need to go out there and take it and win the damn series. There was multiple opportunities, and not just game 6, but game 5 and game 4, where you weren't stepping up to the plate. You had a game 7 where PJ Tucker was hitting everything. Those are the type of things you want to game 7. Like, PJ Tucker, give me 9 points. We'll be good. He gave you that, and you still fucking lost. Jason Tatum went like 0 for 10 heading into the 4th quarter of game 6, and you let this beige motherfucker come in and drop 19 points in the 4th quarter on your head at home, and you the MVP. And then you go up there and want to blame your fucking teammates and then do some failure there's really no such thing as failure, trying to make a joke off Giannis. Well, Giannis has a little thing called a world championship. Giannis has a little thing called, I have a dog in me. When it's time for me to take over, I'm going to take over. Yeah, we clown Giannis for those comments he said, but Giannis stepped up when time is due. Well, as much as he cried about the MVP over the last couple of years, you come up there, you put a performance out there like that, get the fuck out of here, man. And James Harden, if you don't care, we know that James Harden don't care about having accountability or anything when it comes to basketball. Just take your ass over to Houston with Ime Udoka and hoop with them young boys with no type of accountability, because we already know what it is with you when you come up there. So I'm really not even shocked or really even disappointed in James Harden. That's just how it is. But Joel Embiid, I expect more from you, champ. If you're going to be the MVP, you're going to be one of the best players in the league, you got to step up. Stop giving excuses, man. That's all I got for y'all today. Episode 27. We've only got a couple more episodes left in this season. But we are starting. I'm actually starting production on I'm Not Gonna Hold You to Off-Season Season 2. So we're gonna be having a lot of great interviews during the summer for y'all like we did last year. So stay tuned for any and all updates on that. Shout out my super producer Pavi, man. Follow him at Pavi World on Twitter. Stream all his songs that are out right now. Visit his website, patverbs.com. Y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BallShareScott. Follow HB Media, HB Media TV on Twitter, and at HB Media on Instagram. Follow the Barbers Chair Network at Barbers Chair Net on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe to Patreon, patreon.com/Barbers Chair Network. We got new episodes, send them with the guys. New summer sessions, whole bunch of shit up right now, man. Check all of that out. Y'all enjoy the conference finals this weekend. I'll holler at y'all next week. We out.
Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna called you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna